Alright, we got the new SBS for One Piece Volume 112. The SBS is essentially just like the Q&A portion of the volume where Oda himself answers a lucky reader's question. And we're going to be going over the most interesting ones today. Let me also point out that Oda is particularly unhinged in this SBS. Like, for example, one of the things he's asked is by Sonata, and he's like, after every time I finish reading One Piece, my mind is full of Nami and her boobs. And Oda's like, shut up, Sonata. Then another one is like, stop right there, Oda Sensei, you pervert. And Oda's like, no, that's a false accusation. It's those guys. They're the ones that keep sending those type of questions. But anyway, on to like the real stuff. So Oda was asked, is the man with sunglasses who appeared in chapter 1096 Gil Bastar? And Oda said, yes, he's a hidden character. Actually, the protagonist of a manga I drew when I was 17. How did you figure that out? LOL. So, this is Gil Bastar of the Rocks Pirates, and his corpse retrieved by Gecko Moria. And he appeared during the Thriller Bark arc on chapter 450. He's the kind of character you're totally fine with not noticing. Whoa. Yeah, this is like almost as deep cut as it possibly can get within this series. I never personally heard anyone say this before, right? I mean, maybe it's out there. I'm sure if you search it on YouTube, there's already somebody that figured this out. But just within my sphere of One Piece influence, I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say this. So that's fascinating. I wonder why this guy has 4 arms. I would say it's like a devil fruit, but would it be like post-mortem devil fruit magic? Which is a thing. Unless there's like a 4-armed race. Is there? I don't think there is. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, I just Googled it and there is not a 4-armed race. So this guy is kind of significant, but I guess it doesn't matter because Oda said it's fine with not noticing him. But he was a part of the Rocks Pirates, so that's also significant, and he was somewhat powerful, I assume. And also another Rocks Pirate member revived by Moria. I talked about this with Sai like a year or 2 ago, but the theory that Thriller Bark itself is like the remains of God Valley, where the Rocks Pirates kind of ended. So could this add more to that? I don't know, but still pretty interesting. All right, next up, let's go back to unhinged Oda here. So he was asked, why is Gunko walking around in her panties? And Oda said, well, I keep getting comments like it's panties this, panties that. But listen, it is technically underwear. If we call it that, then that would make Gunko some kind of pervert. That's not the case at all. You know Nami and Bonnie's outfits on Egghead? It's a fashion where the hems of their jackets are extended. In fact, it reduces the amount of skin that's being exposed. So that outfit is totally fine. How rude. So I don't know if Oda's like being tongue-in-cheek here. If he is, that's pretty funny. But if he's like serious, then that's fascinating. Because then that just means that's how he like mentally justifies what he does with these character designs, especially with the age of these characters. But if he's not, and he's like being funny and totally aware of what's going on, then that adds a whole nother layer to Oda. Next, he was asked, what was Gaban's role in the Roger Pirates? And he said, I gave a general introduction to the Roger Pirates back in volume 96's SBS, but now I'll introduce the main members and their roles. Roger was the captain, Rayleigh was the first mate, Scopper was the navigator. Okay, interesting. Moon Isaac was the tactical officer. Crocus, of course, was the doctor. He's like the main one that we knew of with the role, besides Roger being the captain and I guess Rayleigh being the first mate. The helmsman was Don Quino. The torturer or interrogator was Millet Pine. The scholar was Rowing. I guess that's like the Robin of their crew. The informant, Ario. Intelligence officer, Spencer. The gunner was Peter Moo. The musician, Jackson Banner. And the shipwright is Blue Marine. And continuing with Scopper, he was also asked, the Pirate King's left hand, Scopper Gaban. Was his name taken from Space Sheriff Gavan? I used to watch it on TV as a kid. And Oda said, oh, a hello from the same generation. I've been asked this by many people, but my intent was different. I've always loved old movies, and I sometimes borrow names from actors in the past. In this case, Gaban came from an old school French actor named Jean Gabin, or I don't know. I guess that's how you say it. That's where I got the name from. So, yeah, interesting. I wonder if anybody figured that out. Oda was also asked, what are the Donsundara tribe? Are they a tribe of mixed race between giants and dwarves, or maybe between ancient giants and dwarves? And Oda said, quite close. The correct answer is it's a mixed race between humans and dwarves. The name of the dwarves tribes, Tontada, came from cute sounds of their footsteps. If you raise the sound volume a bit more, it becomes Donsundara, and mixed race between a giant and a dwarf is called the Zhoniin dodo tribe. They're very rare. Oda, it's okay. A dwarf and a giant? I mean, it was one thing for Scopper and Ripley to get together, but now we're getting like a dwarf and a giant. Oh man, I wish I can ask Oda how that works and like make him give me like a straight answer. Oda was also asked, in the Elbaf arc, those strange animals from the movie Strong World keep on appearing. I really love the idea of them being incorporated in the main story. And Oda said, that's right, I've designed a lot of animals for that movie, and those animals made their appearance here on Elbaf. Well, coming up with something new is troubles. I mean, those animals were created based on the theme of what animals would look like if they evolved in a world where strength governs everything. So it actually made things quite easy. No. I also had the idea that animals raised in a warrior nation would be similar, so I made them appear here. It's definitely not because I'm too bothered to think of something new, okay? Alright, Oda being pretty serious here, I guess. Pretty blunt, I suppose, while also being a little joking. That's fine. I'm not really too concerned by these things, to be honest. And then Oda was also asked the speech recognition ability of the transponder snail that's besides Loki. How does it differ from the other transponder snails? And Oda said, well, Loki is restrained, right? The reason someone can answer with this transponder snail without using their hands is because this particular transponder snail can understand a bit of human language and is able to connect calls on its own. It's the same when making calls. It can be activated similarly to saying, hey, sir. Okay, I'll buy it. That explains how Loki's transponder snail works because, you know, as we've seen for the longest time, he was chained up on Sea Stone, so he couldn't move. But somehow, he was working this transponder snail and communicating with the mysterious character of Mosa, or Shaggy. And yeah, this is how it works. There's just a transponder snail that can, like, understand language, and I guess it kind of acts as, like, a remote activation in that way, through voice activation. That makes more sense. But real quick, guys, GamerSupps just dropped a new flavor in collaboration with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure called Ocean Stone Fruit. It has a nice, refreshing, fruity flavor to it, and it comes in caffeine and caffeine free, where you'll still get the focus and clarity from the nootropics, but just without the caffeine jitters. They're also releasing JoJo themed shaker cups as well, so you're gonna have to grab those fast because they usually go within like 48 hours. So check the link in the description and make sure you use code BIGZ for 10% off. Thanks, guys. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. There's a lot more that he was asked in this SBS, but it's like stuff that you probably should just read for yourself. I don't need to talk about it in this video, but let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you like this one, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you the next one.